So hello and welcome back fellow coin collectors, and today we have some coins from Yugoslavia, and these are coins from 1945 and they come in 50 para, 1 dinar, 2 dinars and 5 dinars, and as you can see that makes 1 dinar equivalent to 50 para. And yes, this is a derivative from the old Serbian dinar that they used in the 1300s. Believe you can look up that information on Wikipedia. But these ones are introduced after the Second World War. Actually, yep, 1945. These are dated, and these are a single year type, even though they might have been minted for more than 1 year, because the next issue of coins was in 1953, and they were a different type. They were aluminium and brass coins. So these are quite nice. They're pretty peculiar. The only other country that issued the same style of coins was Albania. So this is in 1957, but they issued those in 1947, 2 years after liberation. But these ones were, I believe, they probably used the planchets that the Serb German occupation Papal, not Papal State, yeah, whatever, the Serb occupation dinar. So this is equivalent in size to the 10 dinar. Then we have the 2 dinar, which is, this is 4.1 grams, so it's a bit bigger than the 2 dinar issued by Serbia, which is 3.6. Then we have the 1 dinar. So as you can see, these are a bit corroded. And this one is 3 grams, which is nearly the same as the 1 dinar issued by the Serb state, and the 50 para, which is 2 grams, and this is 2 grams as well. So same size in it as the Serbian one. So I reckon that they just issued the planchets except for the 2 dinar. The Serbs never issued a 5 dinar dated 1942 or 43. They just issued a 10 dinar. So when they've introduced these coins in 1945, this was equivalent to 20 Serb dinar or 40 Croatian kuna. So as you can see, inflation had taken its toll, because those two currencies replaced this Yugoslav dinar of 1940 at 1 to 1. So there was massive inflation in the Second World War and also after. So these coins were only in circulation for 8 years, and then they were replaced. But those coins were only used to 1965, when they had to replace the currency. So 20 years this currency was in circulation for, and they replaced it because of inflation as well. So as you can see, these coins have the stars that represent communism, 1945 dinara. And on this side, you can see I rotated it. That's coin rotation. And here we have Yugoslavian Cyrillic script, and also the coat of arms of the flame. And 1943, so that represents the date of liberation, or maybe the date of the formation of the Communist Party. I don't know, I didn't even bother look it up. And if we look at the other coins, they all have a Cyrillic script. Now later on, the Yugoslavians issued coins in the various languages. So Serbo-Croatian, so Cyrillic and Latin script, Macedonian, which is the Cyrillic script, and Slovenian, which is the actual Latin script, like Croatian, but a bit different language. So how much would you be paying for any of these coins? Okay, so for this, I have written it down. And another thing is, the reason why I didn't use a light background, because it just makes them not stand out as much. If I use a dark background, even though these coins are black, they stand out a lot more. So here we have the actual coins. I've got the 50, 1, 2, and 5. The weight's 2 grams, 3 grams, 4.1, and 6 grams. And 18, 20, 22. So they go up like 2 millimeters, and then you got 4.5 millimeters between the 2 and the 5. So that is, yeah, a bigger difference to separate the values. So for the 50 para, there's 40 million minted. The 1 dinner, 90 million. The 2 dinner, 70 million. And the 5 dinner, 50 million. So that would have been enough to survive, you know, for like 10 years for Serbia. And here's the exchange rate in 1945. And these coins in this condition that you see here, which is very fine, you're probably talking about $5 to $10. I haven't seen any that are lower than $5. And also I include postage in the price because, you know, you've got to factor that in these days. Uncirculated, probably talking about $40. They're a bit hard to get in uncirculated, and even with those with mint last year, because zinc corrodes quite readily and easily. So as you can see, this is totally black instead of silver. So that is pretty much a condition you're going to get a lot of coins, even though it doesn't have that much wear. Okay, here's some interesting side bits. So in 1945, the exchange rate was 50 dinars equals $1. That's equivalent to about $15 today. In 1955, the exchange rate was 300 dinar to $1. And the US dollar is equivalent to $10. So we had two factors here. We had devaluation of the currency. So if you divide 50 by 300, which is divided by 1/6, then you got 0.16. So the dinar in 1955, just with the devaluation, is only worth 1/6 of 1945. So that's a massive loss of value. And then you have 1/3 loss of value of the US dollar. So I also factor that in as well. So if you put in 0.6, then really 1 dinar in 1945 is only worth pretty much, yeah, maybe we'll just change that to 10. So only 10% of the 1955 dinar. So 1 dinar in 1945 is equivalent to about 10 dinars in 1965. 55, should I say? 1965 would have been probably worse than that. So that's the devaluation that we see, and I've done it here. So 10 times 1945. So that's a serious loss in value. So that's what I would class as a hyperinflation. Anyway, so if you're a collector, you need to take these factors into account, you know, because it's just interesting. So in 1945, this was equivalent to 10 US cents, so 1 dime. And in 1955, it was only worth probably 3 US cents. So it's a little bit fact, not 3 US cents, 1.5 US cent. So that's a pretty bad devaluation. Anyway, hope this helps you with your coin collecting. Please leave a comment down below what you think about these coins. Just remember, if you want to get a set like this, you're probably going to pay a minimum of like $20 just for the all of the coins. If you want them in higher grades, you know, you're probably paying at least $100 to $200 because these coins don't survive well. And the fact is, if you want to collect zinc coins and aluminium coins as well, that's the factor. And this one you'll see is in a good condition. It's because I've got it protected in the 2x2, so it restricts the atmosphere. But also these never saw circulation. So the 1957 was sold, I think, like 10 to 15 years ago by the Albanian Central Bank, because they probably had quite a few in their vaults. So, but these ones, because they were issued for circulation, you're probably not likely to see that unless someone has kept them in a good safe place for about 60-70 years. Anyway, thank you very much and have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time. Thank you and goodbye.